nobody else is going to jump in here. I mean, Toronto is still not. Toronto should be there, but nobody. You're talking 500. Is it?
It always ever since yesterday Quebec people Quebec Center bid Quebec's badge and the team. Quebec used to have Quebec Northeast back in the heyday.
Going to be 500 for Toronto? Is it going to be 750 for Toronto? Is it going to be, you've got to pay 500 plus you've got to pay the Leafs? I mean, who's going to be crazy enough to do that right now? But it would be the place. It will be the place to go someday, but I don't think they're ready for that. I don't think Gary's ready for that fight. So I think Quebec may slide in. I hope so. Seattle shocked me that, it doesn't shock me. I mean, we keep hearing they're interested, but they don't really step forward. But I think Quebec may get in.
And interesting too because there's this Connecticut-based investment banker named Ray Bartosik, who really wants to bring an NHL team to the Seattle area. He's got an option to purchase and develop some land there, and he said he couldn't meet the NHL timeline, but he said he's still going to work on the arena proposal. So that's still very much in play as well.
Right. But if you're looking at 16, 17, Gary will do what Gary wants to do, and if it means that Vegas is ready now, he'll come with one. I mean, we saw that before. He went with Atlanta, and then he waited the next year and took, Minnesota and Columbus in the year after. He went Nashville 1 year, Atlanta 1 year, and then he went Minnesota, Columbus back in the same year. So, he won't take somebody unless they're 100% ready. I guarantee you that. He's not going to fool around. I mean, the fact that these cities have building is really intriguing. The fact they can be ready to go in 16, 17 is intriguing. I go back to the same question. How do you pay $500 million and ever make it work financially? I don't know. I just don't see how those numbers even ever come close to working. But Quebec will have a lot more money, and if they're prepared to do it, they'll do it.
We watched the NHL not work, and of course the NHL still try and make it work in areas like Arizona. Do they care if the product doesn't work in Vegas?
Oh yeah, he cares. Gary spends a ton of time, too much time. I mean, he is so aware that he does not want another Phoenix on his hands. He does not want another Florida on his hands where he had to put 4 different owners in there before he finally got the right guy, and it looks like Vinny Viola is the right guy. He's got deep pockets in Florida. He's not going to work like he had to work in Tampa to go through a group before he ended up getting the Vinny group in there. I mean, look, I got a great story. I'm in the Florida guy. No, I can't tell.
No, tell it. Why can't you? You can't do that. You don't do that when you're a kid where you're like, I gotta tell you something. They go, I can't.
I'll say it for next week. I don't hear your timeline.
No, we don't have. We got lots of time. I got 8 minutes.
No, I'll never forget. We're at a board of governors meeting. We're having this big vote on the lockout. And we had an owner that had an NBA team and an NHL team, and the board meeting, and he comes around to his city, and they vote, should we keep the players out? And they go, keep them out. And there, Gary says, no, Mr. That's so-and-so's team. That's not your city. He thought it was his NBA team he was voting on. And we come around to his team, and nobody votes. And they had to say, sir, it's your vote. I already voted. Those days are long gone.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't understand. I guess here's my problem with it, and maybe you can shed some light on it. We have a lot of NHL teams, and it's not working in certain areas. You seem to think financially all these teams are losing money, maybe half or more. They continue to dilute the product, so to speak. Is this healthy for the NHL, knowing what they're doing?
Well, look, the salary cap and this revenue sharing has dramatically helped. I mean, just think about the fact, I'm gone from Columbus. We had no revenue sharing when I was in Columbus, and we were doing okay financially. Then all of a sudden, Columbus started to lose $25 million a year. But when you get 18 million back in revenue sharing, and then you get and then you go back to your county commission and say, I need a new rink deal, and if I don't get a new rink deal, we're going to do this, and then you get teams and they're getting new buildings built, and they're getting the